2021 Porsche Taycan Review. Pros: rapid acceleration and enjoyable, hunker-down handling potential for very quick fast charging capability, 4-door practicality plus 2 trunks. Impressive build quality and interior finish. Cons: rear legroom isn't overly generous. EV greatness comes at a commensurately great price. Touchscreen interface is not very intuitive. Low ride height and roof can make it difficult to enter and exit what's new. New base version with a single motor and rear-wheel drive head-up display, automatic body lift and post-purchase options now available. Taycan Cross Turismo wagon debuts later in the model year. Part of the first Taycan generation introduced in 2020. An electric Porsche. The idea would have seemed outlandish even just a few years ago. But here we are with the 2021 Porsche Taycan, and it's every bit a Porsche. There's thrilling performance, sleek styling and lots of customization possibility. It's even a traditional Porsche in terms of price. That may not be quite as much to your liking, but at least you know the brand is being consistent. The Taycan debuted last year and quickly claimed the top spot in Edmunds' rankings of luxury EVs. For 2021, the Taycan gains a new base trim. It costs less than the existing 4S and turbo trims but isn't as powerful. Also on the horizon is a new Cross Turismo body style with a larger rear hatch like a wagon. We're sure you'll agree that it deserves the Porsche badge no matter which Taycan you have your eye on. But it's not the only choice out there. The updated 2021 Tesla Model S can still be considered a benchmark of the class, while corporate sibling Audi has come out with the e-tron GT that uses some of the same hardware as the Taycan. So how does this Porsche EV stack up? Check out our expert rating below to get our in-depth evaluation. Our verdict: the Taycan represents Porsche's foray into the electric vehicle space, and it does not disappoint. The Taycan is a technological masterpiece that manages to deliver incredible comfort and effortless driving one moment and then, with the twist of a knob, world-beating performance the next. How one car can do both so well is a little baffling. But all that technology and capability comes at a high price. The Taycan is not cheap, and we found some of Porsche's touchscreen tech to be needlessly complicated. Luddites steer clear. How does the Taycan drive? We expected a lot from the Taycan, and in common Porsche fashion, it over-delivers. We thought it'd be quick, and it is. At Edmunds test track, our 4S test car ripped from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 3.6 seconds. Did we mention this car weighs over 5,100 pounds? That's as much as a Ford F-150. You wouldn't know it from the way it goes around corners either. There's the effortless balance and ease of a rear-wheel drive sports car, but with ridiculous amounts of traction and thrust exiting corners. It kinda feels like cheating. The brakes feel and perform amazingly, offering ample stopping power and none of the artificialness that's common among today's EVs and hybrids. The Taycan does casual cruising well too, with the exception of its lack of automatic regenerative braking. Some EVs provide enough region when you lift off the accelerator that you often don't need to touch the brake pedal. Not so in the Taycan. How comfortable is the Taycan? The seating is cushy but not enveloping, but only the sport seats provide the lateral support needed for any dynamic driving. Still, we managed 9.5 hours behind the wheel in a day without feeling completely beat up, so that says a lot. The rear seats aren't nearly as good, with their overly prominent lumbar support, tight toe room and a slightly elevated floor height. Ride comfort, on the other hand, is impressive. Given how much the Taycan weighs and how well it handles, the ride is incredibly well composed. It's complemented by a very quiet cabin. And it's not just the absence of engine noise that's impressive, but also the car's insulation from outside noise in general. The single biggest miss here is an overcomplicated climate control system, particularly the virtual vent controls. There's a bit of a lag time when you adjust the vent position, and it's quite distracting if you're on the go. If the AX system wasn't so effective in its auto mode, this would be a bigger issue. How's the interior? The Taycan's touchscreen interface is pretty good but not perfect. The lower touchscreen controls the climate settings, but can also be used to navigate the upper touchscreen through its virtual touchpad and shortcut buttons. Like other touchscreens, the Taycan's is prone to smudges, though thankfully they only are noticeable when the system is off. If you're not open to taking some time to learn new things, you'll probably hate this interface. When it comes to getting in and out, the Taycan is more like a sports car than a sedan, especially if the air suspension isn't raised to its friendliest setting. Once inside, there's lots of space up front, but the rear seat is small for a car this long, and the lack of toe space under the front seats makes it feel more cramped. Rear passengers should watch their heads as the swoopy roof often runs pretty low. Even though the rear window is pretty narrow, rearward visibility is perfectly fine, and it's even better out front thanks to the thin windshield pillars. Door-mounted mirrors ensures objects don't get obscured when you're turning. Arguably the worst part of visibility is the reverse camera and its wide, distorted fisheye lens perspective. How's the tech? The optional Boss surround sound system delivers punchy sound with impressive clarity, even when cranked up to irresponsible volumes. The nav system is easy to learn on the fly and has the ability to display various map views within the gauge cluster, even when Apple CarPlay is active. CarPlay comes standard, but Android Auto is not available. A wireless charger and 4 USB-C charging ports are also included. Our pricey test vehicle was missing a lot of common driving aids including adaptive cruise control, and the ones it had were a little overbearing at times. The optional surround view camera didn't operate for an entire week, but when it did, finally right itself, it worked seamlessly with the parking assist sensors. The reverse camera picture looks like a fisheye lens, and while you can see a lot of what's behind you, the skewed image makes it difficult to gauge proximity to things. How's the storage? The rear trunk space, at 14.3 cubic feet, is a bit small for how large the Taycan is, and boxes will need to be pushed in farther than you think to clear the slope of the trunk lid. There's underfloor storage that helps, and the rear seats split 60-40 and fold down flat, lending some needed cargo flexibility. The front trunk offers an additional 2.8 cubic feet of storage and can fit a small roller bag. There's slightly better interior storage than what most luxury sedans provide. The armrest bin is pretty modest, but a cubby beneath the lower touchscreen can store things such as sunglasses, face masks, or even a small purse. The door pockets will hold a couple of water bottles, but the glove box won't hold much beyond the owner's manual. Car seat anchors are easy to locate, though the tilt of the rear seat bottom is steep, so proper adjustment of your child's safety seat space might be tricky. A rear-facing seat will be a bit of a squeeze behind most front occupants. How economical is the Taycan? The EPU estimates that a Taycan 4S with the standard battery has a range of 199 miles with a consumption of 42 kilowatts per hour 100 miles, which is the EV equivalent of a gas guzzler. By comparison, the other 30th EVs include the Audi e-tron, 46 kilowatts per hour 100 miles, Tesla Model X performance on 22-inch wheels, 43 kilowatts per hour 100 miles, and Jaguar I-Pace, 44 kilowatts per hour 100 miles. But in Edmunds testing, we experienced significantly better range and consumption while driving the Taycan using settings that a typical owner would. The EPA mandates the use of default settings for its testing. We observed 323.3 miles of range with a consumption of 32.3 kilowatts per hour 100 miles. Note that, unlike a regular car's MPG number, improved efficiency comes from a lower kilowatts per hour mile consumption figure, not a high one. Is the Taycan a good value? Most EVs these days don't come cheap, but the Taycan is like shopping in the boutique vitamin aisle at Whole Foods instead of CVS. Even the base Model 4S starts thousands above Tesla's performance models. That said, no Taycan owner will have to worry about questionable build quality or glitchy firmware updates. And beyond the software and electronics, Porsche has a way with interiors and the tactile feel of switches and buttons, or at least a few of them that haven't migrated to the touchscreen menus. Warranty coverage and roadside assistance for Taycan are pretty standard for the luxury class. But an onboard charger and 240-volt charge cord, assuming you have a simple matching socket installed, can save you from purchasing an entire home charging station. You'll also benefit from 3 years of charging at Electrify America stations, where your first 30 minutes of each visit are free, sufficient for charging to 80% battery capacity in the right conditions. Wildcard. There was never any doubt that Taycan would be a performer, and even the base Model 4S offers plenty of thrills. Speed can be accessed anywhere, but that's expected of any luxury EV. Instead, the Taycan impresses with its composure and the sensation it delivers behind the wheel. It supplies what you'd want of any high-performance sedan when you press it, but the rest of the time it's simply an exceptionally comfortable car. And EV or not, the Taycan is a great-looking vehicle. The shape is instantly familiar as a Porsche yet special at the same time. Porsche's first production EV aims to wow, and wow it does. Which Taycan does Edmunds recommend? The mid-range Taycan 4S should have more than enough power to satisfy if you're performance-minded. We'd consider adding the adaptive cruise control option and, for audiophiles, the Burmester Premium Audio System. Porsche Taycan models. The Porsche Taycan sedan is available in 4 trim levels: Base, 4S, Turbo and Turbo S. The Base and 4S come with a 79 kilowatts per hour capacity battery pack. They're also eligible for the 93 kilowatts per hour performance battery plus upgrade that is otherwise included as standard on the turbo models. The base Taycan trim has a single motor with a 2-speed transmission that drives the rear wheels. The other trims gain a second motor for all-wheel drive. A Taycan Cross Turismo variant is on the way and adds a longer, wagon-like hatch. Check back for updates on that model. Base. The standard Taycan has a power output of 321 horsepower. With launch control, output climbs to 402 HP for short periods in overboost mode. The Performance Battery Plus option increases output to 375 HP, 469 HP in overboost. Estimated up range was not available at our review's publication time, but we suspect it will be more than 200 miles with both battery options. Feature highlights include summer performance tires, adaptive rear spoiler, DC fast charging capability, auto dimming, heated mirrors, dual zone automatic climate control, power adjustable front seats, heated front seats, interior ambient lighting, wireless charging pad, navigation system, wireless Apple CarPlay smartphone integration, remote monitoring and control through a smartphone, a 10-speaker audio system, satellite radio, 16.8-inch curved instrument panel, standard advanced safety features such as forward collision mitigation, warns you of an impending collision and applies the brakes in certain scenarios. Lane keeping assist steers the vehicle back into its lane if it begins to drift over the lane marker. Front and rear parking sensors alert you to obstacles that may not be visible in front of or behind the vehicle when parking. 4S. The mid-grade 4S adds all-wheel drive and has an output of 429 HP, 522 HP in overboost mode with an estimated range of 199 miles. The performance battery plus option increases output to 482 HP, 562 HP in overboost mode with an estimated range of 227 miles. It includes all of the above plus adaptive headlights, adaptive air suspension, can raise or lower the ride height of the vehicle, turbo. The Taycan Turbo cranks up the performance potential with 616 HP, 670 HP in overboost mode with an estimated range of 212 miles. Added features include upgraded brakes, torque vectoring to improve acceleration and handling, more front seat adjustments, driver seat memory settings, heated rear seats, 14-speaker Bose surround sound system, Turbo S. The top dog Turbo S kicks power output up to 616 HP, 750 HP in overboost mode with an estimated range of 201 miles. It also adds larger ceramic composite brake rotors, 4-wheel steering, front sport seats with even more adjustments, Sport Chrono package listed below. Some features are available on supporting trims as options. Notable bundled option packages include premium package EO panoramic sunroof, ventilated front seats, blind spot monitoring, surround view camera system. Sport Chrono package, sports steering wheel with customizable drive modes, dash mounted chronographer, Sport Plus drive modes. Standalone option highlights include adaptive cruise control, adjusts speed to maintain a constant distance between the vehicle and the car in front. Head-up display displays important information in your sight line onto the windshield. Night vision, 4-zone automatic climate control. Center rear seat increases passenger capacity to 5. Massaging front seats. Heated steering wheel. Passenger touch screen. 21-speaker Burmester premium audio. Increased charging capacities for quicker at home and DC fast charging.